Hey guys, J-Man here. Today I wanted to talk to you about Wolverine. So, in addition to my X-Men stuff that I'm doing every week, I'm going to try to throw in a few Wolverine things here and there, especially with the new series coming out in 2020. I'm going to be all over that. I got all the Return of Wolverine stuff. I'm not going to really review that. I just wanted to talk about Wolverine in general and my experience with Wolverine. Now, when I was a kid, well, I don't know, a kid out of, I was probably like 10 or 11. So yeah, a kid, but not like a little kid. So when I was around, let's say 87, 88, I'm gonna say like 12 to be safe. Um, I loved Wolverine. I also loved Punisher as well, and Spider-Man. Those are kind of my favorite Marvel guys. But like Wolverine, I was all over it. When I was in later on in my years, when I was around 16, I dressed up as Wolverine from the Wolverine #1 Chris Claremont series, where right before he became Patch in that first issue, where he's like standing on top of the dead of all those bodies with the claws, and he had like his face was a little bit masked. He had like some makeup here, and his hair was all crazy. And he had like the black outfit. It was like blue black, and he had the gloves with the claws. I'll probably review that issue. Sadly, I've misplaced that #1. I mean I know everyone should know the one I'm talking about. I can show. I've got it digitally, obviously. This is the one I'm talking about. It's very famous. Everybody knows. Sorry, everybody knows that cover. So I dressed as that when I was I want to say 15 or 16, and I had like the full gear. I tried to do my hair and everything. Didn't work out. I had and I don't have any photographs to show you guys, but it was pretty lame. I had those biker gloves with like the holes for the knuckles, so I shoved straws. I tried to paint them silver, and I shoved straws in here. And I went. This is when I was in Taekwondo, and we had like a Chris or a Halloween party, and I went and I did the makeup and I did my hair and all that, and I tore up some clothes, and I went, and everyone thought I was Freddy Krueger for some reason, and I remember that thinking, "Are you guys dumb? Like Freddy's got the knives and a burnt face and the sweater and the hat, like which I actually had the Freddy outfit anyways. I had the full costume for Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers. Big horror movie fan, but yeah, I'm like, guys, no, that's not what it is. And sadly, I can't find my Wolverine #1. I have I know it's here somewhere. My childhood version. I spent all day today and I spent all day yesterday looking for it to try to show it to you guys. I found some other things that I'll show you, but I just couldn't find any of it. So that sucks. I hope I still have it. I did a massive purge of comics where I gave away a lot of my comics to just some either just random like charities, or I gave it to some friends who liked certain characters. Like I have one friend who really likes Iron Man and he likes Superman, so I gave him all my Superman comics. Um, and I had a couple of buddies, high school buddies, who have kids now, and I'm not gonna have any kids. My wife and I are just going it alone. So, and none of my family members had any children, so I thought, you know what, I'll give some of my friends, their kids, some comics. I don't know if Wolverine #1 got lost in there. If it did, it did. What can I do? I would have liked to have shown it to you, and I would have liked to have kept it because it was a childhood comic of mine that I loved. But in any case, you could rebuy Wolverine #1 very easily on eBay. Depending on the grade, you can get it. So if I need it, I can get it. But I did want to show you a couple of things. Now this is Wolverine related, but also other stuff. The first ever comic book shop that I ever went to. I bought three things. Three things. First time I ever walked into a comic shop, and I still have those things with me from childhood. We're talking like this is really old, and these might even have the date on them. If I could see the date, maybe I can even tell you when these came out. I'll try to see if I can find see the date on them, but it's really hard to tell about this guy. My eyesight is absolutely garbage. There is a date on here. I'll never be able to tell what it is. Okay, so the first three things I ever bought. The first thing I ever bought at a comic shop that I ever went to was this Wolverine in my favorite costume, the brown outfit. There he is. I don't know if you guys remember these. He's pretty dirty. I remember thinking the claws were too small, and I'm like, oh, but I always imagined that they were just maybe just extending. So yeah, I never had this. Excuse me, I never had the superpowers Wolverine, but I always wanted to get him. So yeah, there he is. My first ever thing I ever bought. I still have it to this day. All right, and then just to show you, because I bought two other things, Archangel, one of my favorites, and Nightcrawler. This is a really nice. Nightcrawler's probably the best one. He sits very nicely, and I really like this kind of action pose thing. I don't know if these are worth anything or what these. They're just the little PVC guys. But I loved them as a kid. I played with them and I would pretend like Wolverine and Nightcrawler got into a fight and he'd like try to slash him and then Nightcrawler would like duck and then teleport behind him and whatever. Archangel was kind of like, why is he just standing like stoic? Like he should have been more actiony. But yeah, these are really dirty. I'm gonna clean these up because I was scared to clean them up because I don't want the paint to rub off. But yeah, so that's that. And then my first ever comic book convention that I went to, first ever comic convention. I had two things on my list to get, and I'm going to show you the two of them right now. Number one, and this is still in the original bags and boards. I should really reboard these. Was Punisher War Journal. All right, number 6. First of all, Punisher War Journal. I love that series. I do have the entire thing, 1 to 80. And I've got the miniseries number 1 of Punisher. Is it the miniseries or is it just number 1 where he's got the cannon, or missile launcher like through the window? So I've got that one as well. But yeah, so I have duplicates of this. This is actually literally my comic, first comic I ever purchased, ever, at a convention, at the first ever convention I went to. I still have it to this day. And little did I know that when I read this, there was a second part to it. I was like, no, I should have got the second one. And I remember seeing this picture in so many different comics. Like when you flip back, you see ads, and you'd see like black and white ads. And I remember seeing this and being like, wow, this is so crazy. Punisher and Wolverine. And I loved Punisher as well. My first ever movie script I wrote was for a Punisher movie. And I think it's a lot better than any of the Punisher movies that have come out. But mostly because I copied stuff I saw in War Journal. They should just make Punisher War Journal the series. Whatever. Different video. Sorry. Wolverine. Yes, love this. Okay, so that was the first thing I bought. The second thing I also bought at the same convention was Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Two of my favorite guys fighting. Wolverine in the brown costume, which I love. I love this story. This is actually my actual copy. It's like horrendous condition. I wonder if my name is in it because, when I was a kid, I was really stupid. And I put my name in stuff. Please tell me I didn't write in this. I did not write in this one. Oh, wait. Let me check the back. Okay, no, I did not write into this. Oh, I'm going to show you this. I always thought this was such a dramatic moment. I remember as a kid just not knowing what the heck I was going to do with this. There's actually a very funny story with Spider-Man versus Wolverine that involves a friend of mine who also got the comic. He had it. He owned it and I never did. And he was telling me that, there's like this crazy scene, and he's telling me about all these amazing scenes that happen in it. And then I come to find out that none of those scenes were actually in it. He made up the entire thing. It was such a lie. He was literally going through the pages and be like, oh my God, Wolverine does this. And he cuts off Spider-Man's leg, and then Spider-Man's leg grows back, and then Spider-Man webs him in the face. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest comic. And then I'm like, okay. And this is all leading up to us going to this first ever comic convention here in Toronto. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so sick. Yeah. And then I got it. I'm like, hey, none of that happened. But I still love that issue. It's really great. So yeah, those are my first ever things right there. And then these guys right here, the little guys. So yeah. And then I started to kind of get out of Wolverine because I feel that he was being really overused. he got really popular, and I'm not sure if I just felt that, I almost felt like Wolverine was my guy, like Punisher, Wolverine, these were my guys. It's like, yeah, everyone can have, their Captain Americas and their Iron Mans or whatever. It's like these were my guys, these like, darker guys. And maybe I felt that way, or maybe I just felt that he was being overused and became too popular, possibly. Sometimes I have the tendency that if something becomes very popular, I get to be a little bit on it. And then I kind of, what I call divorced Wolverine. We were married for a long time, and I kind of divorced him for a while. And what brought me back was actually Hugh Jackman in the very first X-Men movie, which, I have a love-hate relationship with the X-Men films. I don't, they're okay films, I suppose, if you just want to watch a movie. My wife enjoys all of them, actually. Though I never showed her Last Stand, I just pretended it didn't happen. But Hugh Jackman, I always thought was really excellent. And when I first saw Hugh Jackman, I was not excited because I thought, well, this guy's really too tall. I don't know. He's really big, and it didn't seem like Wolverine to me. It didn't feel like Wolverine, but I ended up really liking him anyway. And then I was kind of on the fence. I'm not sure I liked him, but I didn't want to like him just because I didn't want to like that movie. I felt that it wasn't really X-Men that I wanted to see. Plus, I thought Wolverine came in too early. Plus, I thought he was too much of the main character. Cyclops was always my favorite X-Man character. Still is. I always liked Cyclops, and I felt that he was underused. I always liked Wolverine on his own. Not really part of the X-Men team. The Wolverine stuff that I like is that miniseries, and then this Wolverine series, and I like the guest appearances like in Punisher, or if he fought Spider-Man. I wasn't a big Wolverine on a team guy. So I'm not sure if I just felt that wasn't handled as well either. But anyways, Hugh Jackman really got me. As it went on, I really started to like him. And I liked his interviews, and he would say, oh yeah, I'm excited to be Wolverine. And then, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon like everybody else and really liked him, but never like committed full on again, just because I always had that feeling that, well, he's kind of not Wolverine, but whatever. And I always wanted to see the costume, and I always thought that was a really big disappointment that we never got to see any version of the costume, even if it was the yellow and blue. I prefer the brown and yellow, which is my logo that I created for these Wolverine chats. But I always thought that was just like a really nice costume, and they kind of had it in that deleted scene in the Wolverine movie, the one in Japan, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that movie. And obviously Logan was a great film. I really like Logan a lot. Great movie. The Wolverine was also, I thought, was a really cool, neat movie with Silver Samurai. It wasn't the exact way. It wasn't the exact Silver Samurai, but whatever. I mean, it's movie Silver Samurai, if you want to put that in quotes. But I did like it, and I wish that they had done something with the costume, because I really wanted to see that. Going forward, who knows what's going to happen in the MCU or with Disney. Maybe they'll do something more with Wolverine. I really enjoyed the Savage Wolverine comic. It was only 23 issues, but I liked the format where it was like a few stories of Wolverine on a mini adventure, and then the next 2 or 3 issues, or 4 or 5, or whatever it happened to be, would be a completely different story, maybe even in a different time period. And I just thought that was an excellent way to do Wolverine. And I thought, if they're ever going to do a Wolverine movie, because he doesn't age the same, I would like to see maybe each movie be its own unique thing, and just have him do a little adventure, and then maybe one in Japan, and then you can have one in Canada. Maybe you can have I don't know, one in like the 50s or something, right? So they did a lot of that with that series, and I thought that was a really interesting series. And then he teamed up with Elektra in one of them, so you could introduce guys like that, have them team up and test the waters. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up for this video. I just want to just talk quickly about Wolverine and kind of my history with Wolverine. I'm not a Wolverine expert. I didn't read everything. I was just a kid reading the stuff that I liked, and Wolverine was something that I really liked. And I'm going back now, thanks to the digital comics. I can go back and read all of these, because I don't have the Wolverine comics. I gave them all away. I had duplicates of number 1. I only kept my childhood one, I thought, which I now can't find, which I'm very upset about. Hopefully I can find it. Maybe it's here somewhere. And if I gave it away, I gave it away, and hopefully it's bringing joy to someone else out there. But yeah, so it's great to have the digital stuff to fall back on and read again, and just experience it from the beginning. And there is a new Wolverine series coming out, which I will definitely get into. Return of Wolverine. I did enjoy. He has like the claws now that glow. I don't know if that really makes any difference to anything. I suppose it makes him stronger. I don't think he needed it. I don't think I don't know if he's used them in the Dawn of X, or if they just kind of forgot about that, or what's going on. But I always liked Wolverine on his own, so I think him on his own with his own series is going to be something that I'll be more excited about. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I talked long enough. So yeah, that's just me and my background with Wolverine and my history with Wolverine. But I thought it'd be a good way to introduce this series, I guess. Every so often I'll try to do a Wolverine video, maybe talk about the old comics versus the new comics. That's something I might do, or maybe show you. I've got lots of toys. I got a lot of Wolverine figures laying around. Maybe I'll throw those on a video. But let me know if there's anything that you like about Wolverine, if he's your favorite. There was a guy in my elevator the other day talking to his son, and his son saw all my tattoos, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, like, who's your favorite super?" He asked me who my favorite superhero is. It's Superman. Look, I'm old school. Anybody who's my age, is going to tell you Superman or Batman, right? Those are the only two choices, really. Superman's number one, Batman's number two. I also really like Namor. If you want to talk about like characters in Marvel. Anyway, but yeah, so this kid, the dad was like, Wolverine, man. It wasn't just like, you don't just say, I like Wolverine. I think he's a great character. It's always like, oh, who's your favorite? Wolverine. And it's just like, and that's the kind of excitement that he brings, is you're just like, you just get pumped. You're like, yeah, Wolverine, And so I just thought that was I just laughed. And then that kind of maybe subconsciously made me think maybe I should do a Wolverine series. But the kid looked at me. I'm like, I like Superman. I was like, I like Wolverine a lot too. I love Wolverine. Don't get me wrong. And I think I was wearing a Wolverine. I may have been wearing the Wolverine hoodie that I got, the one with like Cyclops and thing. Anyway, but that was great. Great to see the dad get so excited about Wolverine. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on Wolverine. Is he overrated? Is he overhyped? Do you not care about him? Did you maybe like him? You don't like him? Are you excited for this series? Do you want me to talk more about Wolverine? Am I boring you? I don't know. But anyway, let me know, and I will try to respond back to as many comments as I can, which I usually try to get them all. But yeah, that's it. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.